If you're a local establishment, you shouldn't be spending 20 to 30% of your marketing on that. In fact, you should be paying a lot less than that. Why? It's a lot easier for you to get clients. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Fit to Grit cast. I'm your host, Zach Coleman, and we're going to continue the thread of what we talked about in our last episode. We're going to dive a little bit more on ego. If you're the best, why aren't you showing up? So to go into this a little bit deeper, you know that you offer more value than your competition, but why aren't your customers realizing it? What if the problem really isn't your service, but how you as a studio are showing up to your audience? I've talked to a plethora of prospects, clients over the years, and I always kind of get the same kind of response. I'm going through the conversation, talking through their brand, what they're building. They keep losing their prospects, their clients, existing clients to other companies that are showing up. You know, part of that is going to come down to customer service, but a lot of that's really going to come into how you're showing up as an organization and how you're showing up with your marketing, your branding, who you are. Many companies really rely on that ability for word of mouth to really build them up. And in fact, you'll probably hear lots of digital marketers talk a lot about, oh, you don't need word to mouth. It's inconsistent. It doesn't help me grow. It doesn't help you grow. It's very inconsistent. I'm here to tell you something else. I'm actually going to be probably one of the only marketers out there. As I always say, I'm a marketer that hates marketing, when in reality, I'm really just a marketer that loves authenticity. I'm a brander at heart. I love dealing with the messaging and all that stuff, but that is besides the point. I'm going to be the first to tell you that what if you're looking at it wrong? What if word of mouth is the start of building a community? What if digital marketing can play a role in those efforts and what you're trying to achieve? You can build sustainability, you can build clientele, and you don't need gimmicky tactics, especially if you're under $1 million, to start building that consistency and that lead flow. So how do you combine that digital marketing? How do you combine that local, we'll just say search results, local SEO, search engine marketing with your word of mouth campaign and your existing audience and your community that you're building in-house? We're going to talk a little bit today about, the benefits of building more organic presence, your visibility, without continuing to increase ad spend, how to really build a review system for you and what you're trying to build internally, and how that can actually help you build that trust you need for that first interaction with that next prospect. And if you're of higher value, we'll just say 200 plus more memberships, how can you really attract the right audience and give them what they're searching for? So let's start off by going a little bit deeper. If you haven't already listened to the last episode that we put up, we talked a little bit more into the strategic approach on connection, confidence, and contribution, how those three pillars can be your guiding factor to help you build a brand up and how to reach the right audience within local search and your branding. But for this episode, we're going to dive a little bit more granular into those tactics, right? So more organic visibility without increasing ad spend. Here's something I see in the industry all the time. Let's do a whole bunch of Facebook and Instagram ads. Let's fatigue ourselves by creating all this great creative, all this great messaging, an offer page, a landing page, try to send traffic to it, tweak our messaging, learn from it, do it over. That works. It does, but it works for e-com brands. It works for organic type companies. They have a much broader audience, one, and two, have about 20 to 30% of their budget going to marketing. If you're a local establishment, you shouldn't be spending 20 to 30% of your marketing on that. In fact, you should be paying a lot less than that. Why? It's a lot easier for you to get clients. You're not me. I'm a marketing agency. I have to spread myself out. I have to put out 250 plus pieces of content a week just to stay relevant and to be able to build my audience. You're not going to compete with that on a local market. You're not going to compete with that fitness enthusiast that has millions and millions and millions of followers, and or they come to you and say, pay us hundreds of thousands of dollars to send one person to you. That's stupid. You have to have a much more community-centric approach. So how do you build more organic visibility without increasing ad spend? Well, organic search is becoming all about brand awareness and brand recognition. So find community events. Going back on our last cast, we talk a lot about your confidence, building your messaging, your visuals, and all that. Make sure that's all established correctly. And if you've already got all that and you're living by that and you understand your values as community, then you should already be looking this direction anyway. Focus on finding those people in your community through events. Find 3 or 4 targeted events, grow your organic visibility through these local events. Even better, instead of creating these offers that have people come in, go to these events and maybe you have planned sessions at the event. I know that sounds crazy, right? Oh, no one's going to take time out of their day. Here's another thing. You're going to get free publicity out of it. You're going to show you're building a community with your community, and that's what's going to actually build momentum, and that's how you're going to grow. Is it sexy? No. But it's a great momentum builder, especially if you're in you're just getting people within a 2 to 5 mile radius. That's all you really have to do. If you have multiple locations, just spread out to the other cities or other locations and do something similar. There's way more ways that you can build organic visibility, but then you can take those events, you can get pictures, you can have a review system up front. And here's a kicker. You could have Google My Business or your Google Business profile up on your screen when you're at this event. You can do an assessment. You can do these classes. Have someone that's not even an actual part of your audience that's actually a member leave a review for you and talk about how great it is. The session you gave them was. I mean, think about it. An hour of your time or your trainer's time. What, you're paying them $50 for a session, $65, $75 for 1 hour session. Basically, you're paying $65 for 10 people to come take a class instead of $2,000 to get all these people and going into Facebook and doing all this crazy stuff. I mean, seriously, people, that's how easy it can be. Now, how do you really build a review system that builds trust before your first interaction? I'm a very big preacher on branding. Personal branding, taking that personal brand, really diving in and building a community around that personal brand. Because remember, if you're the owner, you're the leader of your establishment, your brand is going to resonate with what you are. You're going to bring in trainers that match your ethos. You're going to bring in admin that match your ethos. And so you need to look at it, but that's much more on the customer service side. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about organization in a different series. This is the foundational series. So we're talking about a lot of foundational elements here for marketing. So let's talk a little bit about a review system that actually builds trust. Think about it this way. Reviews equal trust. That's a kicker. Everyone just looks at reviews and they're like, oh, I need a review. The more reviews you have, the more trust you have. It's as simple as that. It's a good start. So let's talk about a system that works. I talked a little bit about this on the last episode. This is what I've seen work. This is what we've done for a plethora of the studios we work with, especially the ones that have very little reviews. You start off by you do a combination campaign. There's different softwares you can use if you want to do this automatically. I kind of highly recommend you do it internally first. In fact, we'll leave a comment in the box below. We do have some partners that are good management systems that for reviews that you can utilize for your audience that we partner with a lot of the marketing stuff we do for our studios. So I'm more than welcome to talk to you about those partnerships and give you a cross promotional deal, blah, blah, blah. For now, what you should really focus on is doing yourself first so you get an understanding of how it works. An email, kind of an email campaign, a pre-purchased email campaign. Well, it's actually going to be post-purchase, sorry, because they are going to be existing clients. So what I want you to do is I want you to go back to the last one if you haven't watched, and you'll get a start of it. But overall, I want you to sit down and I want you to make a list. Make a list of all of your members, or get your list and organize it from the ones that have been there the longest to the ones that have been there the least. Start with the ones that have been there the longest. They're already your advocates. Unless you no longer want those people as your clients and you're trying to weed them out, they should be the ones that value you and your growth and what you're trying to do the most. So they are going to be the ones that are most likely going to leave a review. I want you to send 5 emails a day. That's it. You could double your business with just 5 emails a day, would you? I know I would. And start off by sending those reviews. And here's where the kicker comes in. I don't just want you to send and ask them for a review. I don't want you to send them some short link on, oh, leave a review here. I want you and or your trainer that has those, and this could be even better. You could have your trainers do this as well. And I highly recommend this because of the personal brand aspect. I want you to do 5 emails a day and say, I really appreciate you being a part of this facility, part of this studio. You know, we're really looking to build our community out. We'd love if you can leave a review. Here's the link to do so. And then be like, and because of the good faith, if you leave us a review, we're willing to give you 1 month for free if you bring one of your friends into one of our next classes, one of our next sessions, group trainings, a day at the open gym, whatever you prefer. But do that. And so it's kind of like you're doing a gimmicky offer, right? You're kind of saying, bring a friend in, it's not gimmicky, but bring a friend and get a month free. You're doing that, but you're also asking up front. You're building trust, and you're building advocacy with your existing audience. You're making them think about you, leave a review, and then what happens? Then they're like, oh yeah, I can bring a friend. What does their friend say? Well, I'm kind of there, but I really know. And then they'll be like, oh, here, I just left them a review. Look at here. Now you just positioned yourself to the friend. And in reality, that's branding in how local SEO really works to its best benefits. Even better, if you have your trainers do it, have their own profiles within, and like I said, we have softwares that can handle this if you need to, but have your trainer's name, they'll say the trainer's name, and now you're starting to build more algorithm towards the rest of your team, building that we into the brand, of it's not just you, the owners, or the admin that no one talks to, but it's the person that actually understands them. And now you're doing a plethora of things here: reputation, positioning, experience. You're providing all three of those trust building factors within a single review, and you're getting clients from it, and you're moving up in the local ranking. I don't know why people don't do this, why studios haven't been taking advantage of this more, or why they don't think of how valuable it is. But that's a good review system. Start off there. So how do you start attracting high value clients who are already searching for what you offer? This is a good one. So first and foremost, I want you to really think about what I'm about to say. Everyone's searching for what you have to offer. Everyone's looking for you. Everyone's looking for your particular offerings. You're just bringing in the wrong people. I talked about a story on our last episode. I'm gonna go back to that story about how selling $1,000 package, and then there's nothing wrong with approachable, like I said, but is that really going to attract, or is communicating the ability to attract those higher paying clients? So what are you going to do about that? Well, you have to have the ability to, one, live out your values, leverage those values in your vision, and communicate that through your visuals, your messaging, your offers, and your pricing. That's how you are going to attract higher value clients. I'm going to leave very simple concept to you and go off an old phrase that we all talked about when we were kids. You ever heard the phrase, don't judge a book by its cover? Everyone judges a book by its cover. It's inevitable. It's human nature to judge. If it's going on a date, if it's hiring a business partner, if it's talking to someone at a company and you're trying to build a partnership. And in reality, building values are your guide to represent yourself in a way, but that's off the subject. Don't judge a book by its cover. We all judge a book by its cover. So if we all judge a book by its cover, why aren't you valuing yourself enough to showcase who you are and living by who you are and communicating that effectively? Why are you looking at the things that are actually going to move the needle as something cheap and keeping yourself in a plateau of just doing the work, doing those tactics, finding that next tactic that's going to work? I'll be realistic with you. Back to our original concept here, more organic visibility without increasing ad spend. The more authentic you are with yourself, the better conversion you're going to have. The more people that are going to want to work with you. The more people that you're going to attract that want to work with you, the more community you're going to build around those people that you want to work with. And it's all about less so tactics and all about your strategy. It's all about you being a visionary. So be that. Move away from the operations. Unless you're really good with the operations, then hire someone to be the visionary. Be that person you want to be. Spread your message confidently. Contribute to your audience the way you want to contribute, and connect with the people that you want to connect with. And that's what I'm going to leave it off with for today's cast. This is another episode of the Fit to Grit cast, where we talk through all those visionary ideas that come up to us as we're going through our normal daily activities. Again, I'm your host, Zach Coleman, and we'll all talk next time.